Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. So over here I have a Sedum Golden Glow. You can see by the appearance it is extremely dehydrated. Probably at this point of time there is maybe 5% of water left inside the leaves, because you can see the succulent has kind of sucked up all the water from the leaves, whether it's the lower leaves, upper leaves, everything has been sucked up. And the succulent is completely compact. It's completely closed inwards. This is a perfect example of an extremely dehydrated succulent. Now, the reason why this happened is not because of underwatering, but I had done a stem cutting some time back and I had kept it for air rooting. But due to some issue, the stem which I had cut started to dry out, and due to which it was not able to produce any roots over here. No roots were present on this, because for some reason, probably this could be related with the climate, environment, or probably the succulent itself, or probably something gone wrong with the stem cutting, and the stem started to dry out, and hence it cannot put out any roots. Now when there are no roots, the succulent of course cannot absorb moisture or water. But this succulent is definitely a fighter, because this is what I wanted to show you. But right above the place where the stem started to dry out, it has started to put out a lot of aerial roots. And you can see those beautiful healthy aerial roots. Now you can see the aerial roots are pink in color because they were above the soil. And hence, because of the excess amount of light, they started to turn pink in color. They are absolutely healthy, just like the white roots. But this is a very good sign, which means that the succulent still has a will to live. So what are we going to do is we are going to further help the succulent in reviving. Now guys, over here the succulent is at a very critical stage of dehydration. So we do not want to do any kind of cutting anymore. We are going to leave it as it is. If the succulent was very well hydrated, I would have cut off the dried stem. But because the succulent is extremely dehydrated, I cannot wait any further from keeping the succulent away from water. So what we are going to do is we will take the succulent. It already has roots. I do not have to wait for the roots to appear. I have my soil mix ready over here. I will just take the succulent, even the dried part, I will push it into the soil. The soil is loose, porous and well draining. I'm just going to leave it as it is. As you can see, that's all about it. Now, because this succulent is extremely dehydrated, also it has roots present on it. There are aerial roots. I can go ahead and water it. This is the reason why I did not cut off the dry stem, because if I would have cut off the dry stem, even though it is dry, there would have been an open cut to the succulent and I cannot water it immediately. Now, because I have not done any kind of cutting, the roots are present on it, I can go ahead and water it. So let me quickly water it and show you. So I have my watering bottle handy and I will quickly give it some water. Now guys, we are going to water it until the water starts passing through the drain hole. We have to do a complete watering. And after the watering has been done, I'm going to place this succulent in indirect but bright light. No direct sunlight, because the succulent is already quite dehydrated. Putting it out in direct sunlight will dehydrate it even further, or in fact it is not going to help the succulent absorb that water. So now we are done with the watering. You can see the water has started to pass through the drain hole. Complete watering has been done. Now all we have to do is just wait for the succulent to absorb that water. It's going to be kept in indirect bright light with a good amount of air circulation, because putting it out in direct sunlight is not going to help the succulent absorb that water, because the soil will dry much faster in direct sunlight. Apart from that, my soil is well draining. The pot is earthen pot, which tends to absorb that excess moisture. So putting it out in direct sunlight is not going to help. We are going to keep it in indirect bright light so that the succulent can relax and start absorbing that water. Probably in few minutes, the succulent will start to absorb water. It's already evening right now, and during the night time, it will start absorbing more of that water, because that's when they wake up. And most probably after 3 days, I will definitely give you an update on the succulent. Because the succulent is extremely dehydrated, it won't open up within 24 hours or 48 hours. We have to wait for a couple of days. But when that happens, I will definitely share the video with you guys. So that's all about it. I'm just going to leave it as it is in indirect bright light, and we will see what happens next. Hi guys, so this is how the Sedum Golden Glow looks after almost a week. Now of course you can see it has started to stretch, because as I said, when a succulent is wrinkled or when it is extremely dehydrated, like in this case, you move the succulent to indirect bright light. Now I did move it to indirect light, but probably the intensity of light was not a lot. That's why you can see it has started to stretch. But now as the leaves have lost all the wrinkles and it's getting a little bit more hydrated, I have started to move it into indirect bright light. I won't be exposing it to direct sunlight yet, because there are still a little bit of wrinkles, not much as compared to what it was earlier. You can see there are very little wrinkles, so I have to still keep it in indirect but bright light. So it will take a while for it. When a succulent is extremely dehydrated to this stage, it is going to take a while for it to recover or basically get hydrated. So I'm extremely happy that the succulent has bounced back, but at the same time I'm not very happy with the appearance because it has stretched, but we couldn't do much because the succulent was extremely dehydrated. But any which ways, as time passes, it will start to get compact as we start offering it morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. Because Sedum Golden Glow, Sedum Adolphi, they require a good amount of direct sunlight with a good amount of intensity in the light, and that's when they tend to stay compact and they get that beautiful color. You can see the color is completely lost. It's become completely green in color, which is absolutely okay because we have to take care of one issue. Otherwise the succulent might get damaged. So here the first issue was hydrating it, and now the second issue is stretching, which will take some time for it to get compact. So we have to treat the issues as per the priority. For example, in this case the succulent was wrinkled, so over here I have to let go of that color. I have to more focus on hydrating the succulent. Once the succulent is hydrated, I can then focus on the color and its compactness. But as of now, it's doing quite well, which is a big relief. So the succulent has definitely recovered. Now in that 1 week time, I have probably done watering twice, because you can see the soil is very gritty and very loose, so it required 2 waterings in order for it to get hydrated. But any which ways, it's doing quite well, so that's a big relief. Probably day after tomorrow I will do a third watering, so it will slowly start to recover back. So overall the succulent is doing fantastic. All we have to do is just wait. You can see my soil mix is very loose. It's very porous, very sandy. There is some mountain soil as well, so the drainage of this pot is very good. Overall the succulent is slowly starting to pick up, and as and when it gets completely compact, once it gets completely hydrated, I will put it out in morning direct sunlight. But again, I have to go through the entire process of acclimating it 1 hour per day and slowly increasing it with each increasing day. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.